The Transparent Oracle is unlike any other deck I have used before. Welcome to this quick tutorial. I am breaking down this deck. I went to the masterclass with Emily Cardinal, creator of the Transparent Oracle and the Transparent Tarot, another amazing deck of see-through, clear, layerable cards. Be sure to check out my video about that deck as well. But this one is all about the Oracle deck. If you have been considering buying this deck, or you have this deck on your shelf but are a little bit stuck with how to use it, this video is for you. I learned so much in the masterclass, and I would love to share all of the wonderful tips I got from the creator with you, with her permission, of course. So Emily was kind enough to allow me to break down what I got from this workshop and share it with all of you here. So the Transparent Oracle is really a deck for mystics, for intuitives, card readers, and lovers. If you are a complete beginner, I'm not sure that this is the best Oracle deck to start with. Although if you are drawn to it, you can absolutely make it work for you. But many other Oracle cards often come with words or sayings on them, so that when you pull a card, you just know what the message is. This deck is not like that. There are no words on it whatsoever. They are all images, and they often, as you can see, are these images in threes, and they fit together like mandalas. So that's just another amazing layer, which we will get into. But another quick note on what this deck is for and what it's not for. So this deck is really geared towards asking more open-ended questions. For example, if you are looking to know, will I get this new job? Well, this deck is not necessarily for answering questions like that. For that, you have tarot. For this deck, you are asking more open-ended and really deep questions, either learning about yourself, knowing yourself, going through shadow work, diving into deep topics in your life. Also just like broad topics like, what is the nature of time? This deck really is a gateway to open up your connection with the different realms and the 7 directions, which we are going to get into, because that is how this deck is broken down. And that is the key to understanding this deck. So again, if you have this deck, but you've been a little lost, I have something that is going to break this down and really help you open up this deck and get right to using it. And if you are on the fence about whether or not to get it, or you're just seeing this for the first time, be prepared to be amazed, because it is mind-blowing. So first of all, it comes in this amazingly sturdy box, this cool little big see-through sheet that goes over this hefty guidebook. Now, some decks, like I said, you just shuffle them, pull them out, and then start using them right away. And that is what I tried to do with this. And you can get messages. However, I was stuck with, am I ever going to not need this big guidebook? Because I don't know what these cards mean, but there's a system. However, you should go to the guidebook first. I would recommend when you open this, instead of just shuffling all the cards, keep them in order, open up your guidebook, and start to read it. And you don't have to read it cover to cover. Don't worry. I don't want to discourage anyone from buying this deck thinking, oh gosh, I have this big book to memorize and read. No, this is just to purely understand the system. And I am going to break it down in this video. So who knows, maybe you won't need to rely on the book as much. But when I first got the deck, I just tried to open it up and shuffle, and it didn't quite work as well as I had hoped, because I love the Transparent Tarot, and it was so intuitive for me that I was so excited when I had this Oracle on pre-order, that when I got it and I just shuffled and tried to get the messages, yes, I was getting messages, but I felt like I was missing something. And I was missing the system that is laid out in this book. And As I mentioned, it has to do with these 7 directions. Now, you may be familiar with the 4 cardinal directions, okay? So the 4 directions are east, south, west, and north. So those are the 4 cardinal directions when people open circle or call to the directions. That's generally what we talk of. And each direction has something that it is representing, like east is element of air. And that element of air is truth, justice, communication, things of that sort. It is the sword suit in tarot. South represents fire. That is the wands element in tarot and everything that that stands for: passion, creativity, love, and all of those things. So that's the south. In the west, we have water, and that is the cups suit of tarot, and that is relationships and feelings and maybe kind of illusions, flow, ease, things of that sort. Then you have the north, which is, of course, the element of earth, grounding and nature, the physical. It is the pentacles element of tarot, and that is, 3-dimensional wealth, abundance, and things of that sort. So people know very well those 4 suits, those 4 elements and directions, cardinal directions. However, I spoke of 7 directions. Well, Emily Carding speaks of 7 directions. This is who I learned it from, and it has changed my whole practice. So when you call to the 4 directions, you are not yet done. Intuitively, I knew we need to call to the above. The above is God, source, the universe, the angels, the ascended masters, gods, deities, goddesses, everything above. I also used to put my higher self above. Higher self seemed higher, right? But I'll get to that in a moment. So the above is the angels, the gods, goddesses, God, source, whatever you want to call above. Then you call to the below. The below is so important, and I did not realize that in the below we are calling to the underworld. We are calling to the dark goddess. We are calling to the ancestors, to the fae. So there's a whole realm of the underworld to explore and to call to. And these cards, like I said, they open gateways to each of the directions, to each of those topics, to each of those beings. So that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So where is the 7th direction? The 7th direction is within. And so we presence our higher self, not above, not below. Sometimes they are, in transit, but really within us lives our higher self, that intuitive powerhouse. And that is so powerful. That is so powerful. And that is just the cusp of the basis of the system that these cards are broken down by. Okay, so that is just a quick synopsis of the 7 directions. Now, the cards, so they are broken down by the directions. Again, we start with east, and in each level, okay, so I'm going to break this down in this video. So let's see how I can best show you these cards. They're so gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to go one by one here. Okay, so we have spring. This is the gateway. Okay, so we have the gateway first of spring. And then after you have the gateway, you have the weather element. Okay, you have the weather element of wind. And then what element is this? As I spoke of, is air. Okay, so now this goes deeply into the meanings of what does each card mean. It has keywords. It has what is important, about spring. And then I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but the guidebook has, when you're pulling different cards, it will say if this east card is paired with a south card, here's an additional meaning. If east is paired with above, this is another meaning. So it really gets so specific in this guidebook, and there is always going to be additional information that you can pull out of this guidebook if you go look at it for additional cards. However, I wanted to know, is there a way that I'm going to pull these cards when I do shuffle and know that this is spring and that this is, wind, because it doesn't say spring or wind anywhere, because the images needed to be simple. There needed to be not words in order for them to layer in the way that she has designed them to. So I'm going to go again with this order here. So we have the gateway, which is the season, spring. We have a weather element, wind here. We have that it is air. Okay. Then after that, you have the time of day, and this one is dawn. Okay. Then we have the landscape. So this one is mountains. Now, I'm going to hold off right here. So it goes through, there's 10. Okay, so this is the first 5. So I am going to do just the first 10. So another way that you can break these down and start to memorize it is that you know that if it is 1 through 10, it's going to be east. If it's the second cards, 11 to 20, it's going to be south. 21 to 30 is going to be west, and so on. So you can start to, memorize the system if you will. I know this is the first time you're seeing this, so that might be confusing and overwhelming. Not to worry, the guidebook is here to support you, and I am going to be breaking down this system so that it's going to make more sense in a moment. But I just want you to realize that it is possible to break away from the guidebook once you realize this system. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to card number 11. Let's see here. Okay, good. So we have here, remember I said card 1 is the gateway. So card 11, now we are in the second set of cards, the second element. So not spring anymore. We have, I believe, I don't want to make a mistake here. So after east, she goes in the cardinal directions. Of course she does. Is south. And south, we have summer, fire, right? And this is circle for the equinoxes and squares for the solstices. That was another little tip we got in the workshop, which I thought was so fascinating. So we have the gateway of summer. So you can also imagine, actually, I am going to do it this way. Let's see. Well, yes. Okay, here we go. This will be good. So we have card 1, card 11. Now we have 21. So this is the first card of the next direction. So we have east, south, next is west. West is water. West is going to be autumn. We have spring, summer, and then autumn. So you can see how this is like fall, right? So another use of these cards, I did say, you can't really ask mundane questions. Well, since it does have the seasons and the time of day, you can ask questions like, when is this going to happen? So that is a way you can, ask more simple questions. It doesn't have to just be super deep, questions. So, and again, we have the circle for the solstice. So as you can guess, what is the fourth direction going to be? So we had east, south, west, and next is going to be north. North is the element of earth, and it is going to be winter for this season, and it is going to be, we had 1, 11, 21. So next we're looking at card number 31, and as you can see, it kind of has that 4 instead of 3, or a circle. So this is 31, and this is winter. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. So you can see too that we can layer these all and how beautifully and nicely they fit together. I mean, it's just amazing. And if you line up the numbers on here, that's, exactly how they are designed to be layered up. which I just love. I think it's amazing and gorgeous and so brilliant. So let me go back. Okay, so 1, 11, 21, 31. Okay, so we have the first card of each element is always going to be the gateway of the season. Okay, next we have the weather element. So this weather element is going to be card number 2, and the next element is going to be, let's see, 2, and then of course we'll get 12, and I'm going to get the next one is 22, and then the next one is 32. So the 4 weather elements that we have here are wind, for air, lightning for fire, rain for water, and snow for winter. So those all make sense as the weather patterns, right? And as you're starting to pull them, you're going to realize, okay, snow is what I'm getting. It's in the 30s. This is a winter. This is a, north earth element. So you're going to they're all going to start to come together as we start to learn this system. All right. So next, the third card, the third level is going to be all of the elements. All right. So this one is air, of course, like we talked about. Then we have fire, water, and earth. So you can see the leaves and the fire and the water, so you can see how beautiful those all lay out. Okay, so we're almost done with the first 5 here. So then we have the time of day. Okay, so starting in the air, we have dawn, because rising in the east, right? The sun rises in the east. Next, we have card number 14, because this is 4 and we're going by 10. So 14 is going to be that midday sun. In the west, the sun sets in the west. So of course we have sunset, 24. And then 34, we had dawn, noon, or midday, sunset, and the last one, sorry, the earth is getting crowded out of here. The last one is midnight. Let's see here. 34, midnight. So isn't that beautiful? And I just want to show you again how they all line up to layer on top of each other in such an amazing way. Is that not so cool? Okay, so not that you would be layering necessarily all 4 times a day, but the 5th one is the landscape. Okay, so we had mountains in the east, and then for the fire we have deserts in the south. Where's our deserts? 15 deserts in the south. And then we have for the water element, 25 is going to be the ocean, of course. And then we have our forest, 35. Okay. All right. So now that we have broken these down here, okay, you can see now how each element, oh, let's see if I can separate those out. There we go. Each element, yes, no, yes, yes. Very good. Okay. Each element is so gorgeous in its own right, but then when you start mixing them together, oh man, magic. Okay, so we've got our 4 elements here. So I went through the first 4, and I said there's 10 in each way. So what comes next are we have different guides. There's going to be different animal guides that mean different things, and then there's going to also be an elemental. Okay, so I am not going to show all of these cards in this video. You're going to have to get the deck, but I do want to just show some of the animals that we have here. We have otter, fish, frog. Okay, so these are just all different animal, you know, these are the earth animal, or no, sorry, the fire animals. There's those earth animals, and the air animals, of course, have wings, right? Oh gosh, aren't these just amazing? Oh, so powerful, so powerful. Okay, I did want to talk about the elementals. So the elementals, this is a sylph, which I'm not really sure. I forget what that is. You'll have to look in the guidebook. Where's another one, an elemental? Let me show you. Oh, here's, I think this is the fire salamander. Yeah. So there's an elemental besides the animal guides that is the last card of each of the 4 directions. All right. So are you with me? Are you getting it? Is it making more sense? I hope so. Because this, as soon as I saw this system, I was like, oh my gosh, I understand how it all works now. And I realized that eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually after working with these cards, I am going to be able to pull one out and realize what this card is and what this card means. Will I get more information from the guidebook? Always. I always will, because this guidebook is brilliant. And like I said, it really gives you more information. Like, okay, if you pull the guide of frog, it's about healing, sensitivity, motherhood, luck, metamorphosis, right? And it talks all about, you know, what the meanings of the frog are, different places. Oh, there's a hot fire under there. But look here, when frog is combined with cards from above, it means this. When frog is combined with cards from the south, care should be taken so that not too much energy is lost or over due to oversensitivity, you know. So there's really such great information depending on what the cards are paired with. So you can always get more information. However, there is a system, and it is possible to read these cards, you know, a bit more intuitively without depending completely on the guidebook. Okay, so those are the 4 cardinal directions. I'm going to go ahead and put those to the side, and then we can get started on the next ones, which are, if you recall, above, below, and within. So they have a bit of a different format. I'm going to try to keep my piles separate in case I want to show you anything again. I'm not going to get too mixed up. I don't think I'm doing a very good job, but we'll see. All right. I think those are the ones I need. Okay, here we go. 41. This is the card, the first card of above. The gateway to the above is the celestial realm here with card number 41. So these cards are a bit different. This has first the gateway, the celestial realm, the angels as a guide, and these angels are very different than the angels that you think of that are, you know, here to, you know, do humans' biddings and things of that sort. These are, you know, beings of their own right. Emily was very informative. I, you know, kind of had a different view of angels in my mind, and so it was very eye-opening to me. So you may want to look into angels differently with this deck. And then we have the planets, which is so awesome because you can also make sigils with these cards, depending on like where the planets and the sun are. It's such a powerful deck. Oh my goodness. I am just barely scratching the surface here. So you've got, you know, the sun, you've got the moon, you've got Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, right? So you've got the planetary symbols and the planetary signs. Okay. And I'm not going to go through all the planets there. Okay, so then you have, after the planets, we have the last one of this set, 50, because remember, it started 41 to 50, goes this way, is the white dragon, polarity. And there is a lot of myth with the Fae, with Arthurian legends. So there's so much information in the guidebook and so much to delve into with the brilliance and complexity of this deck. It's just mind-blowing. There's also, I'm going to go to polarity of the next one of below, just because it's so cool. So this is 60, and this is the red dragon. And so you put them together, and oof, you know, and they're biting each other's tail, and that circle, and the red and the white. This is also very reminiscent of her magician card in the tarot, transparent tarot deck, which is 2 intertwined black and red dragons as well. So this is just so powerful, I think. So we had, that was the last card of above, was the white dragon. And then the below starts with, we're going down into the underworld now. This is card number 51, and it is the world tree. You know, that is the gateway to the underworld in mythology. So it makes absolute sense that this would be the gateway to the underworld here in this. The guide here is the ancestors and dark goddess. You will notice with the 3 sides, she had mentioned that she was heavily influenced by Hecate, and works very much and does seminars and workshops about the dark goddess and working with Hecate. So, and after she, you know, told us a bit about the inspiration from this deck, realized with the 3s how heavily influenced it was by her. But this also could just, you know, we have the hood here. This is just the ancestors in general, the ancestors, or the dark goddess, just general as well. This is the she. She has a whole deck, tarot of the she, the fairy race. This is a gateway as well. You know, all of this will help you access the realms. These are literal gateways that we're opening and working with here. So that's why in the beginning I said this is really a deck, you know, maybe not for a beginner. This is, you know, if you are on the spiritual path, you are really diving down into the underworld, into your shadow, into your intuition, and the different all of your power. And really this is an intuitive, a mystics deck. The guides for the guides. So it's powerful. It is powerful stuff, you guys. I love it. I highly recommend this. I haven't said that, but I highly recommend this. I think it's coming through how passionate I am about this product. It is amazing. I think that everyone can get something out of it. But if you are called to this deck, don't be scared of it. If you got this deck already and have been intimidated and not really able to work with it, I hope this video breaks it down enough for you to just get your hands in it, because this is just the surface. I'm explaining, but the magic is going to happen when you get in there and you start working with these cards and going through these gateways. And wow, just wow. Okay, so we have other guides in the below, right? So there was the she, the fairy race, there's the giants, there's the mermaids, and then we have the hollows. These are the Grail hollows of the Arthurian legends as well. The cauldron, the sword, the spear, and the stone. And you can see if you place them correctly with their numbers, the image it forms is very powerful as well. Look at that. I love how they cross, and the cauldron and the stone. Everything is so cool. And the last one, of course, I showed you already, was the red dragon of the below. Whew, we made it, guys. So we've done 4 directions. We've done above and we've done below. So what is left? Within. And this is... and actually, I'm sorry, I lied. There's within, and then there's the archetypes, which was in the 2nd edition, what came out of the 2nd edition. So here we go, within. This is 61 to 70, again with the 10s, okay? Except the last, I'll get to that. Okay, so 61, the gateway to within, is the self, of course, the self. And then we have dream here, which isn't that so beautiful. So the self, we'll notice, has a lot, this vision again of three, the being, the three faces, and they just, you can see the hands and the faces all line up perfectly. So this self is the, I don't want to say the mannequin, like the basis of all of these. They all fit and they all add. So this is dream, as you can see. It looks like, you know, dreams to the realm, other realms, you know. And touch is the next one. We have the senses. Touch is also taste. Okay, so you can see how the hands, you can see they're red, you know, activated. Hearing. So this is the sense of hearing. Voice. Telepathy. Empathy. Oh, this card with the heart, such a beautiful meaning as well. Vision. Oh, this card just gives me chills. And this one also gives me chills. The DNA labyrinth. Oh my gosh, you guys. And the guidebook on this one is just out of control good. And the last card, the web. This imagery is just so powerful. The rainbow web and the guidebook, again, fantastic, amazing. Can't say enough. This within, this whole section, direction, is so powerful. They all are, but I've been getting a lot of cards from the within and guided to work with that gateway personally. The cards will let you know. The cards will let you know what you're meant to work with. So this was the edition in the second edition. And this is the archetypes. Okay. So these, I'm going to go through them really quickly. And there are just 6 of them, 6 archetypes. But oh gosh, wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, there's 7. 7 archetypes. And because we're starting at 71, that makes 77 cards and 7 directions, because each of the archetypes is related to one of the directions, of course. So the archetype for air, east, is sage. The archetype for fire, south, is the warrior. The archetype for water, the west, the lover. And the archetype for the north, you know what, I'm not going over these. If you want to know what the archetypes are, you should buy this deck. You should buy this deck. They're amazing. The point is that there are 7 of them, one for each of the directions. Above, below, and within are in here as well. I am going to show you the last one. Can I show you the last one? Where is it? 77. Because this, if you have made it to this point in this video, I guarantee that this is you. Don't tell me I've lost it. Does that mean I can't show you? How could I lose that card? It was the last card. Well, it's a surprise. It's a surprise for you. Spirit did not want me to show you. I'm sure it's mixed in. It just got shuffled with one of the other piles. That's the other thing with clear cards. You got to be careful, because if you lose one on the floor, man, it might be gone for a while. I love the cards. They are a nice size. It also comes, if you didn't see, with this beautiful silk cloth, as well as, you know, this amazing guidebook, hefty, sturdy, beautiful guidebook, beautiful book, lovely cards that are, you know, I've seen some reviews on Amazon. The first edition, there was like a sticky film. This has none of that. I did not need to wash my cards. They just came ready and beautiful to use. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them below. Or if you liked this, please comment. This is kind of new for me to start doing this type of thing rather than just reading. So if you like this, I would like to do more deck tutorials, deck walkthroughs, unboxings. I have so many decks. So if you are interested, let me know. Please give this video a like, a comment, a share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and thank you again. See you next time.